I was muted, but you shouldn't be muted. You should be live and audible. Yeah, tell us whether we're audible. If we're not audible, I'm going to be really angry. Because I'm listening to Gemma through OBS. Okay, Gemma's on. Okay, I was dumb and I muted myself. No, wait, what? Wait, which one? I see Gemma is on stream and then I see asterisk muted. And I don't know which it is. Please, I need a complete sentence. Gemma is mute. How is this? I'm like so. Let me explain to you all why I'm so irate. I can hear her through through what's this? I can hear her through OBS, and OBS tells me it's getting an audio signal for her. Say one more thing, and if not, then I'll just. Okay, can anyone hear? I can hear her through OBS's audio monitoring. She keeps talking. She doesn't stop talking, but no one else can hear her. No, this is the most infuriating thing. And I don't know what I can do about it. I can turn her to audio only. And then I can turn her back on to highest bandwidth. Now she's video again. Try one more time, and if it fails, I'll just use the other method. All right, I still hear her. If no one else can hear her, I'm just gonna friggin' cry forever. And then you all get my desktop audio instead. I do also... I wonder if I can just... This is the worst. Sorry. This is terrible. All right, let me fuss with this until she's audible. Someone mentioned when she's audible.
Time for forever tears. Do you know what, Dave? They can't hear me, so I can just talk for it.
Yeah, you can. Oh, you can say whatever awful things you want about me.
No, what I was just going to say, you just cry constantly anyway. It's just that you're so accustomed to it, you don't see those tears anymore.
She's super cool. Yeah. Okay, hold on. This is the worst.
Oh my god, Dave's frustrated.
All right,
I
try
love
now.
it. I feel like every stream starts with Dave super frustrated.
Wait, but now I can't hear her, so I have to have this ready to go so I can hear her. Okay, there we go. All right, we should all be audible now, I think.
We should all be audible. We lost half our viewers just from...
I know, seriously, people just almost futzing around with this crap and why it doesn't friggin' work.
They're like, what? I come to Twitch for the girls.
Let me turn down my mic.
Dave's too loud.
I'm too close. All right.
Hey, Cheryl, how are you? Anyway, I was talking about...
Oh my God.
I went on Jen's stream and she's got currency and stuff, and I was complaining to Dave that we don't have currency. I don't know what our currency would be called, but Jen's currency is called Gemball.
Jembo.
Like Temball, but Genball. I thought it was cute. And then you can use your currency to like... She had a lot of Halloween things, and I think, it's almost 2 weeks since Halloween. I think that's a bit... She should probably change to next season.
Ooh.
But anyway, she was playing Run Run. And I was saying to Dave, she was doing it without a delay, and I was a bit surprised.
And your Chantas on the Instagram. It's true. There's plenty. Yeah, Chantas. Our currency can just be straight up Chantas.
No, because I like Sand Chocolate.
Oh my God. You're so particular. Can't it just
Can
be
we
Chantas?
have two? Can we have two currencies, and then we can make them battle each other out?
I need to...
Yours will be like the dollar, and mine will be like the pound, and it'll be constantly crashing.
I like that. How do I... Can I just do this? Sure. This is the thing. And this is the thing.
But I am going to apologize in advance. I have done 0 Mahjong in the last week. I have not done Mahjong because I can't stop staring at Twitter. And you know what? It's amazing that 2 crises happen at the same time. And these are crises that you can like enjoy, not like a lot of the crises we've had recently where you're like, this is scary, I'm not enjoying this. but the potential collapse of Twitter feels like a digital Hindenburg disaster, but no one's going to die. So I can really super enjoy it. I've got a front front row seat for this absolute disaster. And then, of course, you know, the cryptocurrencies are crashing, and I'm like, oh, I've only got so much attention for 1 week.
It's really, if we want to do our current events bits, I find it really, really exciting. I am very excited for the crypto crash.
Are you excited?
And
I
for
don't know if
all
I'm
that
excited.
no one is going to pay attention to any of the very important things that this reveals about how all that worked.
I'm not. I don't know. I feel more concerned for the crypto crash because I do fear that it could become a contagion that enters into the
Good.
real world. Really?
Good.
I don't know. I feel very poor at the moment. I don't want any more knocks.
It needs to go away. It needs to be wiped from the earth.
No. I'm okay if the crypto this FTX it's a contagion only within the crypto markets. What I'm worried about is you know, real world banks are exposed
then
as well.
They need to die. It needs to go away. We can't do it again.
Yeah,
and this is said as someone who lived through.
It's just like 2008 though, and then regular
No. It needs to not be. It needs to not be just like 2008. Because here's what happened in 2008. In 2008,
okay,
all those rich bankers did some hot garbage, and then what they were told at the end of the hot garbage was, well, it'll be real bad if you guys failed, so here's just a big pile of money. Please don't do hot garbage again. And what did they learn from that? They learned you can do as much hot garbage as you want, and at the end you'll be handed a giant sack of money, and everyone will still pat you on the head and call you a genius, and only Bernie Madoff went to jail. Like, is that an okay outcome for this, like, historic mountain of fraud? Is for them to all be told, oh, too bad, guys. Well, here's your bailouts, and please don't do it again in 5 years.
I like FTX got hacked. Hacked. Right? They're just spinning now. What is it?
Yeah, most.
This was Elon's plan, and he did exactly what he said he would do. No one spends 44 billion on a joke like this. He's just an idiot. He is a genuine idiot though, because I mean he can't manage business anyway. I mean, this has been a commentary about that man. You know, it looks like he's running a business, but you know, people act as if he founded Tesla, but he just bought Tesla, right?
Yeah.
And anything that's going on that's good there is the talent in Tesla. And he has, every time he's fucked up a company, he has forced Tesla to buy it. So now Tesla has just taken on all of his other fucking failures, terrible failures as well. And you know, he's going to make Tesla do that. I mean, he must have used Tesla shares for collateral. And then he's like,
he did.
And yeah, exactly. And then he's like, oh, I need some things fixed in Twitter. So you Tesla engineers who thought you were going to be working on cars, you're coming over with me so you can work with a bunch of millennials and sack them and then try to make it work. It's just insane.
Oh no, it's madness. And like, I love how people conflate this idea that the people who happened to win at a business deal financially are also genius business people who know what they're doing. Because, like, it's like he happened to make a lot of money off PayPal. Good for you. I mean, fine, take the money, you did it.
Right. He was. But let's clarify. He was already rich, and he got pushed out because he was bad at what he was doing. Right. And I think he's mistaken starting off rich for being a genius. And you know, people are going to be rich, and they're going to keep making money. We know that. That's just the way this world works, for better, for worse. But he didn't come from the harsh streets of Johannesburg and, you know, fight his way up. He was a rich South African, and he just got richer. I mean, big whoopee.
What even is Mahjong? But yeah, I hope the crypto's cool. What I'm so happy about is, like, basically this random dude was just hailed as the savior of all this crypto crap, and then one day someone's just like, yeah, I don't think he has any money. Like, that's basically what happened. That, like, on Monday of this week, some journalist was like, yeah, I looked, and they don't seem to have any money.
I mean, it's stunning. It's stunning to me that, because basically they were, what were they doing? They were leveraging the currency that they were printing, right?
Yeah, it was his own self-issued token was being used as the major stake in his giant crypto investment firm. So that means you basically don't have any money. When the only money you have is money you made and that you say is valuable to yourself, you actually don't have anything. Oops.
I'm just like, he'll still be a billionaire at the end of all this.
I don't
Why
know.
don't
This
we
this is
do
some
this?
30-year-old kid. I mean, the thing is, he'll have a career forever because everyone will want to work with him because of some reason he's been dusted with the magic pixie dust of like
I mean,
venture cap.
but it's like that Theranos lady, right? Like,
She might
she's
go to
still
jail. They
rich.
want to go to jail for 15 years.
No, no, no. She's got a baby now. No one's going to send her to jail
Mm.
now.
All right, here, check this out. No, you're not going to notice, but I just changed something.
Okay.
I'm just bragging. I'm
Complaining of
showing
things
off.
that are usually out of your control and being sad
It's
about
going
it
to be
too. Like,
Mahjong related now.
Dave's got the opposite. Dave is going to boast about things that were entirely out of his control,
I'm going to boast about
be
things that were
happy
entirely out of
about it,
my
and claim
control.
he's a genius. So
I
Dave
am, in fact. This is
is
possibly the
channeling
most
Elon.
genius play I've ever pulled off.
I do want to talk
Um,
about your reach here, though. I do want to talk about that.
let's talk about everything. We can talk about all of this. We can talk about
Yeah,
now.
okay.
Now, the
So, but no, first of all,
original
I want you to
high
tell
pie for
me
this
what this
hand.
is from. I want you
Okay,
to tell me
so
what this
so
is from.
so
Introduce the league and stuff.
is it last night or the night before? It was Thursday night. Thursday night. So I'm playing in ARML, the American Reach Mahjong League. You can see their logo in the upper right hand of the image. I'm going to recommend them. It's a fun league. Edwin runs it. It's very nicely run. It's very well put together. It has a bunch of tiers, and I'm in the lowest tier because I just joined this season. So new people in the lowest tier. So I've been playing in the lowest tier of the league. It's a little big. It's, I think, a 24 game season. You play with different groups of players, and then the people who did the best advance, and the people who did the worst are what do they call it when you go down a level? You go down a level, whatever the name is.
Demote.
Relegated to get relegated.
Relegate. Okay,
Um,
promote, whatever.
and that's how it plays out. And people have been doing this for, I think there's been at least 3 seasons so far. And we're continuing forward. And again, highly recommend it. It's really cool. We can post their link in a little bit just so people who are interested can do it if you're not already involved. I was playing in my league games. We'd scheduled the first 2 and played them for our set. It's 4 games in a set. So I was playing the last 2 in the set yesterday evening. I am going to, I don't know, I've seen just in terms of like what social graces seem to be. I'm not going to talk about the specific identities of the other players in the game because I don't have their permission to do so. And obviously I just frankly wiped my last name off of this, but this is anonymized enough that you can't tell who these players were. Okay, yes, I did do that correctly. I'm sorry.
Mm.
So just to be clear, I'm going to be keeping that just because I'm not sure if it's okay, so I'm just going to avoid doing it. It's interesting because it's not 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. It depends. You schedule with the other people. Although I will say, if you're scheduling with like U.S. people, it gets a little tough because
Can you join even if you're not in the
I
US?
don't know. Actually, that's an Edwin question. I don't know how strict it is about your US
Yeah, I don't
credentials.
think you can.
I think it's supposed to be for U.S. players primarily. So yeah, you might not be
Yeah.
able to join regardless. But I don't know.
20 might be an American passport holder. We don't
Or
know.
we'll just do a world one. So yeah, so this game had been going not so awesomely for me, as you can tell by the scores at this point. If I recall properly, I'd started off winning a hand or two and getting in the mix, and then a lot of sumos slowly slid me down as everyone else had their shot to gain some points. I don't think if I'm reading properly at this point. Let me take a look over here so I can say factual things. Like at this point in the game, it's South 3 and I'm at 22k and the winner is at 35k. That's not an insurmountable gap, but things aren't looking that great. Oh yeah, there are some sub players. There are some sub players from other countries.
Oh, okay. So that's your Australians in. Yeah. Well, I mean, double check of Edwin. I don't know the ins and outs of how he runs.
Yeah, ask Edwin. Edwin's the arbiter of these rules. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be shocked if the rule is you have to be a U.S. player to play, but he's going to be the officiator. And so basically, at this point in the game, I just thought to myself, like, Dave, if you want to win this game, you should probably get a Yakuman. And so I did. It was really just that easy. I just thought about it. I manifested it.
Yeah.
I manifested it. Actually, this hand, if I preserved somewhere, I mean, we can do the replay also if we really want to go through it. Seriously, although ARML themselves did a great broadcast where they actually covered this game. This was on stream, so it's kind of funny. But this hand, I started with the two 1-mon, 1 3-pin, 2 5-pins, and 2 6-pins, and 1 4-so. So it was 5 tiles I had to get to become Tenpai, and then 1 more to win. They did scream Yakuman. I can show the replay now. I can take a look at that. I don't know if you want to go through. I'm just happy I got a Yakuman. We don't necessarily have to go through this.
If we're gonna, I want to know why you declared Reach.
So I declared Reach a little bit out of desperation. My hope. So having been playing this game, I noticed, and having this being my second game with this group of players of the evening, I noticed that within this group of players, there was a bit of a defensive streak. When people declared reach, there were
Yeah.
multiple times people declared reach, and we like chilled out to the end of the game. People really did put the brakes on and try to defend against what seemed like a kind of scary reach. So first in my head was the idea of like, this reach actually has a chance of slowing people down. Next factor towards reach is I'm not changing it. There's nothing that's coming into this hand where I'm going to change it. Next factor about the reach is I am not going to see anyone throw the door of this hand. I'm like 99 with the Forso being the door. I'm pretty sure again, having played with these players before, none of them are going to throw the door at random. They're not crazies, and none of them are going to throw it knowingly because it's in their hand, and I already have two, so none of them are going to have like overflow door, almost definitely. So that's not coming out, and if that's not coming out, then my other desperate hope is that one man. And if I with this discard pool, I don't have any particularly obvious safe things, which means I might be able to push people into a defensive position and push that one man out. Or someone's going to think they're either going to defend, they're going to think they can make a push and try an edge tile like the one man. So I was really hoping for this one man.
I mean, I would hope that if anyone's playing defensive, they don't throw the one man. That would be a little bit crazy. I'd hope.
But the thing is, at some point they might have to.
Yeah, if they were pushing, but it's not. It's very not safe.
And having just sat through sumo after sumo after sumo, my other thinking is, if I'm basically in reach anyway, like effectively in terms of what I'm doing, I'm in reach. I'm not changing my hand at all. I'm pretty sure these players will notice pretty quickly at this point, having played that I'm just throwing whatever I get.
So API Dev says what I think is a Dama Hanuman. I'd be tempted to Dama. I'm not saying I definitely would, because of course
you're free to disagree with everyone. Everyone can have
an
opinion.
I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think. If I don't reach, is that going to increase or decrease the chance? I mean, I think the table's quite hot for the bamboos, so probably they're either, we know where two of the Dora are, but they're probably building weights around the Dora. You do have a discard pool that looks not like a toy. It does.
It looks fairly generic. It looks like Pinfu and generic, yeah.
Which means that by reaching, someone, as said, might think, oh well, I can, a player on your left here. He's obviously not playing safe, but
he's at least called. They've at least called something. So yeah,
and that 2-man comes out. That's not a safe tile. So he obviously thinks. I mean, but then he's in a situation where he can't let East continue, right? If he wants to, maintain his first. And obviously he looked at your discard pool and he's like, do you know what? That looks like a Pinfu nonsense. I don't have to worry about it, so I'm going to play that 2-man. So in that respect, maybe you were right, and the 1-man was more likely to come out.
Yeah, I was thinking about it as I did it. To be fair, this is definitely a question that was in my mind as I did it. Was like, do I reach this, or do I just hang out? And my thinking was, my thinking was very table based and not like numbers based. It was very much, I want to make noise at this table. I want to see if I can push some people into folding. I want to see if I can push some people into feeling they need to discard some edgy tiles, because it looks like I'm trimming down to something Tanyao-ish. Like if I can push it, I think it's the right answer. But it was very much a player-based thing and not a stats.
I mean, Hanuman wouldn't give you first, no, but it would give you.
It's still good. It would give me way back in the game.
With a much closer first, right? So you get 13,000 points back. So you'd be at 30. You'd be at 35.9, no? Or does 10 not take
any Hanuman gain would get me to 35.9 right now.
Yeah, so you would be first.
I'd be Any Hanuman win would be awesome. Yeah, it'd get me above 30k because of the Uma. So the Uma, for those who don't know, in ARML, the Uma is, you have to be above 30k, I believe. If the first place is above 30k and everyone else isn't, then they get an extra 5k or something happens. What is it?
Well, I mean, usually the way I used to do it in my league was you'd get 12,000 if only one person was above the breakwater, the 30,000. And then
it's something where it's like if everyone's above and fourth is below, then it's 15.50 negative 20. And I think it's the other way. If everyone's below and one's above, then it's 0 negative 5 negative 15 positive 20.
Yes,
so like
exactly.
Getting above 30,000 is an important within the structure of the league. Getting above 30,000 is important to me. You're right. If you told me this hand was just going to be a Hanuman, I would have been like, awesome. That gets me right back in the game.
my concern would be that by reaching, you're less likely to see that one man come out.
That's what I'm again. I think I feel open to conversation about that.
Yeah, no, I
I
mean, I'm
don't
not.
think so. I
I
have
don't
a
have a feeling.
feeling
There's
that I'd
sometimes
be
I'm like, oh,
pushing
you
it
shouldn't have
out.
done that. But this one, yeah, I mean, like I said, you played a full game with these people. You're at South 3. You probably have a good
I
idea
had
of
the
what style they
vibe.
behave. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard to quantify that.
Mhm.
I also had again I had the good fortune of a fairly austere pool at this point. So
Mm.
people would probably be trying to figure out what they can throw into it. There's not too many tiles that they have sitting around that are going to fit this criteria.
Mm. Yeah,
So
and you have the benefit that the player in West and the player in East are probably they're really just looking at each other.
yeah,
They've
they're
probably
focused
started
on
to
each other at
ignore
this
you.
point.
So
That's why I wanted to make a little bit of noise. I was like, I don't
yeah,
want to be ignored because I know that everyone else at this table has stuff they want to do.
yeah.
And so I need to get in their
And
face and be like, I'm doing something too.
I mean, they might make a calculation that you're doing a reach so that you can get into third place and save
Maybe.
yourself because fourth is a nasty. I mean, that discard pool. It does not scream danger.
No, it doesn't scream anything weird going on at all, which is really a little funny, actually, how crazy
It's
this was. Now, you want to hear
yeah.
even more crazy, and don't do this because this is chasing rabbits, but I did chase the rabbits.
No, Dave, don't do
I
that.
chased the rabbits and I took a peek. The two one-man tiles and one of the Forso tiles were all in the dead wall.
Have you got a picture of that? Is it going to be showing?
I can find it in the replay.
Yeah.
I can look it up. But yeah, this was literally the only tile remaining available to anyone on the table that I could have won this on.
Oh, Chirel has it. Okay.
If you have a link that ends up being anonymous, again, the only thing I want to respect the other players and not reveal because I just don't know. So if you have one, okay. I guess now everyone in chat can also see this.
I think it's just player ABC. I said it's
yeah. It should just be ABCD, I believe. Let me take a look and see if I can bring it up. I'm loading it up. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Again, it's no shame to anyone. I just want to be sure to be respectful of everyone I play.
Yeah, it's
oh,
good.
I actually on my screen can see it because I'm logged in.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to be a little cautious about that.
I think if you open it in a different browser or one where you're not logged in, it'll be fine.
I'm just gonna.
We'll just log out.
Hold on. Let me see. It's this round. It's me, the player. It's this step.
Each.
Okay, if we want to, I can then even walk through it. I need to log out though. Yeah. The log links are public in the game results channel. That's true. Again, I don't know if everyone's in there. I'm sorry. I'm being maybe paranoid, but I'm being.
I mean, if they stream them as well, it's pretty public, actually.
Sure. I don't know. I had the other day. Someone was like, "Please don't show this thing," and so I'm just trying to be rational and not be rude to anyone by accident. So again, forgive me for my. All right, here I can go through. I can go through my Yakuman because I love talking about my own Yakuman. Let me find my.
Dave is much less happy to talk about his failures.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't want to talk about that at all. Those are real bad. I don't want to think about those.
Have they got a website? Why have I not seen this website? Let me look up this website. Is it a nice website? I have just started to try and redo the World Reach Champion website, and I don't like websites.
Nobody likes websites. All right, let me do this, and then put this behind everything. Okay, cool. So now I can. This is indeed anonymized, so I can transition.
Oh, I like this font. But the only thing is, he's used two different fonts here. That looks like another font. I like this font, the one of the main pros. Do you know what? I spent like when I started redoing the WRC website, I spent most of the first day trying to work out what font I liked because I'm like, once I've chosen the font, I mean, yeah.
All right, so I've got this up now. I can go through it. So yeah, what is this? This is me being sad with this opening draw because I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do with it? I get another Dora, and as soon as I get a second Dora, I'm just like, well, but... Because it's like, well, now I gotta move. I have something in this hand, and I need to figure out what the heck am I gonna do? Is it gonna be just a Tanya rush for Tanya and some Dora? Is it gonna be maybe something like Chitoy? I have 4 pairs, maybe Chitoy.
Sorry, Cheryl.
So I throw my 1 out because I'm keeping the 4s. So it
Yeah,
must seem
yeah,
fairly standard
lovely.
trimming.
I mean,
And
so the only reason why you would throw out the red dragon over the one bamboo there is if you were going to go for maybe well, if you were going to think about a cheetoy or 7 pairs, because you tend to want to wait towards the ends if you
I'm
do cheetoy.
holding out this weird hope that I get the red dragon. Like I feel like with the amount of
I
speed
know
that
you
I'd
like the
like to
red
have,
dragon. Yeah, I
I'm
know
like
you like.
maybe it'll happen.
And
So
and you know there's a good excuse as well that if you hold the red dragon, people are more likely to throw it out because
maybe
it
I'm not
resets.
quite thinking of my end state yet. I'm more like how am I going to
Yeah.
get to win with this second Dora? I keep the 9 so for the 8-9 option because sure. Now I get a what is it? 1 2 3 a fifth pair. So now I'm like, okay, we have 5 pairs. 7 pairs is probably going to be where we go here. This seems like a
Mm.
rational thing to do. So I throw the chun because I've seen one already, and I'm trying
Yeah.
to maximize my 7 pairs potential. So I'm like, all right, we're doing 7 pairs. It's happening. And then this happens. And this is the thing that happens to a lot of people when you get 7 pairs, right? You're like, oh, I got 7 pairs. And then suddenly you have an Anko, and you're like, well, shit, what do I do? What do I do with this dumb Anko that I didn't really want? Do I keep it and
So,
reduce my 7 pairs potential, or do I not? And my
uh,
thinking here
yeah.
ends up being because I might want to still just rush this out to Tanya Dora 3 or something, I'm going to keep the Anko and I'm going to throw the tile that doesn't fit into Tanya.
When you say Tanya Dora 3, you mean Toy Toy Dora 3.
No, I was thinking I might need to get rid of these one mans and just go nuts for Tanya, depending on how things go. I might.
I'd definitely be thinking here, like at this point, once you get those three, because you've got two Dora there anyway. So Toy Toy Dora 2 is already
It's already
Mangan.
Mangan.
So
Toy Toy
I would
Dora
just
2
be
is, yeah.
thinking, I'd just be
I'm miserable.
Toy Toy. Anything that comes out now, I'd just be calling like an insane person.
I am glad that I was not faced with that temptation. Because I
Okay.
would have thought the exact same thing. I would have been like, well, do I call it for Toy Toy? I could make Toy Toy out of this.
But the Mangan gets you over the 30,000 breakpoint as well.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's why if any of these tiles had come out, I would have been sorely tempted to call it for Toy Toy.
Yeah. I think
But-
it would be. I think it would be. I really wouldn't want to be looking
Boom.
at Tanya. Tanya is an even bigger stretch than Toy Toy is, just because you can call your Pong from any player. If you
So
have to
this is
start
the
calling
point.
cheese, then there's a problem.
This is the point where my luck entirely changes. Because this is the point,
Boom.
actually, that a Pong is called by the next player. The Hots gets ponged. And this slips my draw order over.
Now you're talking like a Japanese professional.
Yeah, like now we're really chasing rabbits here for the record. Like just to be super clear about my own personal beliefs, like every tile from the walls is random as every other tile. Like yeah, I can look at it here open and talk about what happened, but like I'm not someone who's going to be like that person changed my luck. No, I was drawing other completely random tiles that I couldn't see. But by throwing the hots, now I get the third 6. And now is when and no one can hear me doing this, is when I start cursing to myself. Yeah, Venmo got you $5. Yes, yes. Thank you. Now is when I start being like, oh no, you fucking do not do this to me. Do not do this to me.
You have to call, right? You know you
throw
have
the
to call
hots.
now.
Well, I'm ready. Yeah, at this point,
Okay.
without hesitation, I'd call for Toy Toy.
Yes. Okay.
Because it's got to get done. You know, it's got to get done. I can't sit around. And my discards are so generic.
Good.
Like this is all edge trimming type things. No, you
Yeah,
know, the hots
and
after the
someone
hots.
calls. Yeah,
so
exactly. Someone calls the hats. So you're like, oh, I don't need this now. Yeah.
this all is so dumbly stealth. But I'm like, yeah, maybe Sananko, maybe something. But would I call for the Throw Toy? Absolutely. And I get no opportunity.
Flamio asks, why discard the Hatsu there instead of the 8 bamboo?
Because I don't know why, and maybe I shouldn't be, weirdly dreaming that maybe there's some 7 pairs or some other thing. I'm still, or maybe even Tanya, maybe even I get to Tanya somehow. I'm just sitting here being like, I need to make sure I in no way compromise my ability to finish this hand.
I mean, I wouldn't. I see what
Because if
you
I
mean.
get a second date, so I can get rid of the 1-mans, and then have Toy Toy Tanya, Dora 2, Dora 3.
Yeah, I think Flan makes a good point. I wouldn't. I mean, you're worried, I guess, that by holding onto the 8 bamboo, it'll become dangerous later.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. That's a very valid.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. But I think at this stage, and looking at their discard pools, actually just looking like another schmuck on this table might be better if you throw the 8 bamboo, because then you'd have thrown the 9 bamboo and the 8 bamboo, obviously throwing away a potential run.
I've thrown a
And
set.
and these players are good players. I don't know them, but Dave has told me that these are good players.
Unfortunately, this also does not anonymize the R2142 in the corner over there.
Oh, does it not? Right. Well, yeah.
No.
Okay.
So I don't know who, but
so
one of them has a very
dude,
high ranking.
That dude over there knows how to play Mahjong. 8 Danas. Okay, that guy knows how to play. Anyway, so I would think that if I started throwing out a 9 bamboo and an 8 bamboo adjacent to each other, these people are going to be like, oh, Dave's doing something over there. Something changed that was very beneficial to him, so he can change his weight or whatever. Throwing out a terminal and then throwing out a green dragon because someone's pawned them. That is boring.
I'm a boring guy.
So it actually it alerts people less. And I think when you're doing this kind of, like what you don't want to do is if Dave calls now, people might assume he's not Tenpai. People might assume that he's just being an aggressive toy.
Even if I call the door, to be honest.
Yeah, if you put the 9-8 down adjacent to each other, people will think something exciting is happening over there.
Even if I called the door, I could see them thinking that I was getting ahead of my skis. Like that I was desperate for points. I'm just going to call the door and make it work out some other way.
I mean, it's not the 8 alone. If it was just the 8 alone, I'd probably agree.
Probably wouldn't be too meaningful.
But it's the 9 and the 8 together coming out of your hand, not just an instant discard, not just a sumo giddy. It's the 8 and the 9 coming from your hand. And I would assume that our friend on the right there, his crazy ratings, will be watching for this. So
friend on the right there is doing pretty well with their hand also.
Yeah, I would not want to be telegraphing that I have significantly improved my hand in terms of weight or points value or anything like that. So just, as I said, just look like a regular, this is just going in a regular direction. So I think if there was no 9, I'd probably agree with Flan. But I think because there is a 9.
Yeah, it would make some sense to keep the house as a safer tile if this is where things are going.
But that's just an opinion. That's just an opinion, so don't take that.
Here I get the sad south draw, which is just south. See you later, bye.
Flan says, I mean, it signifies some level of advancement in hand, but not much more than that. Shimmer-cha. Shimmer-cha is the player. Yeah, okay. He's already done saying to Sippy.
With the 1-2, yeah.
With the 1-2, yeah, and I would be worried about that, personally. I think you should always be. I mean, discarding an end weight like that, you should be worried. It means that their hand has become more valuable.
Yeah, and it has. I mean, you can see the 1-2's gone. The 2-3-4 exists in its place.
Yeah.
It's Ishan 10 on a whole bunch of different Tanyo configurations. Well, on one particular, on the 6 and 2 so Tanyo configuration. But their dealer, they're in first. Oh no, they're not quite in first. Their dealer, they're 300 points out of first. It's in their advantage to just go fast.
I mean, it's not as terrifying to me as when someone throws a pair of something out of their hands. That really is, red flags. A pair
in the hand's a little distressing, yeah.
Flags,
like, what is going
sirens are going like, oh my god, someone's done something really awesome over there. But I would still, it's early in the game, so I'm not going to say, oh, they're probably Tenpai, but I am going to say, well, whatever their final shape is going to be has come into clear view now.
It's become a bit more clear for them, yeah. So I throw the south as is, and 8-so comes out. Here I trade the 8-so for the 2. This is just another, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just paranoid. I'm just, like, hedging even further. Where I'm like, again, who knows? I get a 4-pin, if something happens.
Right, but the 2 here is lovely and safe. It's safe on your dealer.
It is a very hard safe tile for 2. It's a hard safe tile for 2 players and player across.
Yeah, and you've got the wall on the 3s. There's 2 1s out. Yeah.
All right, trade up for the 2-pin. So I'm like, hooray, here we go. And then immediately draw the 5-pin, at which point I have to make my dread decision of do I reach or not. And again, as we discussed, I decide, okay, I'm gonna reach. I'm gonna see if I can push these players. No one seems to me to be Tenpai right now, but they all seem to be making it forward and looking for things. So if I can put them in a state where they have to think about it, let's do it. And so I reach. And so at this point, you can see the point of all this is the winning tile is my next draw. Oh wow, these draws are so not exciting. But it's like West 6 West. and then the
Yeah, but
other
I mean,
three.
so they fold immediately. You're the East
Yeah,
player
that's
and
true.
the
East players just like forget it.
and South.
I'm out. Safe discard.
Yeah.
This is a push. This push gets some tempi actually.
That's not a push because you've got one bamboo out. That's not a push.
No, no, no. Oh, you're behind me.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, the
Yeah,
two man. Sorry, yeah, the two man is a
the
push.
two man. Yeah. The two pin and the one so are both not pushes. Those are both. Yeah, but the west. Yeah, west gets left gets the west gets tempi on west or Formon and decides to take it, which doesn't seem crazy to me. They want to push and see if they can knock this game over with them in first, so they take a small risk with the two mon. And
I mean, how much of a risk is that? I think it's quite a big risk actually. That two man.
I don't know. I mean, if
it's risky. It's risky.
It's risky, but I don't feel like it's specifically like the 4-man isn't better.
I mean, I think they wouldn't have done it. I think the reason they did it was because you didn't obviously have something valuable.
But if you're a man, you must reach your important hands, even if they have them.
You didn't have anything obviously valuable.
2-man on player usually hasn't thrown a single man. I haven't thrown a single man tile, but it's also so early. It's not like I've destroyed three, the other two suits, and then I'm reaching in the third row, and like you throw a man tile to me.
But the safe play is the west.
Yes, the west is the safe play.
Or the 8. Or if you wanted to just totally, I'm out of this.
The 8 is just I'm done with this.
Or the 9. The 9. Why not the 9 actually?
The 9 would be a really interesting play because it would give them a really easy path back to tempi if something goes
exactly. You could throw the 9. If west comes out, you call the west, and then you're waiting on the 4 and then
you throw
the
2 to wait, but then you're footy 10.
No. Right, yeah. I don't. I'd probably go for the 9 actually.
It's not a terrible play because you have a path back to tempi that's not irrational.
Yeah, because you are such. I mean, for this, it's difficult, right? Because you don't want to let your arch rival opposite you, and the person at east, keep their dealership. So even if you have a small hand, you just want to, take this one, push the game around. However, if he throws into you, that could send him right back down to a poor second place. So I probably wouldn't want to throw the 2 into that. I'm going to be honest. Sorry, whoever was this player, I probably wouldn't want to do that passively.
Yeah, agree, Flan, about no one throwing the door. Like, I was very certain no one was going to be throwing the door. It's just not happening. There's no way. So yeah, it would really only impact the one man side of the weight. Yeah, but I see the 2 is a push. They want to push. They push. And then of course this is I draw the literal only tile left in the game because this is how dumb luck is.
So discard 9 and 8. So I take the 2 in. And I'd see what happened. Like, discarding the 9 buys me a bit more time to see what happens on the table. And I've got an easy way to get back into tempi because I can call through.
And you've got the Wests, and I always find that a pair of something like West is a great option you have sitting in your hand.
Like, I can see why he wants it because it's his wind.
Yeah, it's potential value, so that'd be great for them. And it's something other players, if you think other players are breaking and going to play safe, it's on the list of things they might throw out if they don't have anything hard safe at that point. So like West is a pretty reasonable thing to be waiting on, and I think they were doing the aggressive option here.
Yeah, I mean, it's always easy to say that because I can see what's in your hand.
Yeah, and they're so far above me that even if they deal into like a 3,900 point hand, like 3,900 gets me into third. It's great for me. It drops them down out of first, which is not so great for them, but it's not a game ender.
No, but you'd only have one hand to make it up.
Yeah, you don't have much time.
And then, that's it. It's over. I probably wouldn't want to risk throwing anything, personally.
That's fair. Yeah, and then that happens. It's just dumb.
So Dave is the Elon Musk of Mahjong this week.
I also feel like a jerk because it takes more points from the dealer. I mean, again, it's how sumo works. There's nothing. It's not like I did this on purpose.
I played Ron, and it's the first hand. Someone dealer sumo Yakuman, and I'm like, and that's it. The game's over.
Dealer sumo.
No, sorry, dealer Ron. Dealer Ron Yakuman, and so the game's over. So I'm still sat there with my 30,000 points, somehow in third place. I literally had drawn. I'd drawn like 6 or 7 tiles, and it was a Yakuman run on a player which had busted them out.
It's got to be seating order that did it. Oh, that
Yeah,
sucks. That
in order.
sucks.
I know, and I was like, so I was on the other end of the. I don't know who's Elon Musk's,
Yeah.
uh, anti version. Like,
Yakuman
what's
is
that?
OP. Tired of all these Yakumans happening all the time. It's crazy. It's out of control. Yeah, so I got lucky and won a big hand. And again, I feel a little bad having again because I sumo this, so I think to myself like, no one did anything
Oh
wrong
yeah.
here. Everyone just sat there being
Yeah.
like, oh,
C-San here is cursing your name. He's
yes.
going, fuck that Dave. I hate that
C-san
Dave.
is angry.
He plays like. Yeah.
This is exactly how I got knocked out of the first WRC. By the way, I was C-san, and I was in my rivalry with actually the player I was rival. No, it was across from me, wasn't it? Yeah, there was a rivalry between me and across, and I was like, I'm gonna make it. It's my deal. I'm gonna make this hand happen. It's going, and I felt like player across was like playing mad, and I'm like, dude, it's gonna happen. And then Captain JPML Pro guy, whose name I definitely do not remember because it was so long ago. I'm sorry to you, friend. Just quietly goes sumo and flips down his kokshi, and I'm like, well, it's a good thing I was dealer. It's a good thing I was dealer for that. Like, I'm not mad that you won, because good work for you. I'm mad that I pay an extra 8,000 points because no reason. I did nothing wrong.
Mahjong teaches the hard lessons of life. That is what
bit.
Mahjong is. within a 2-hour stream, we are going to convey what Mahjong is.
Mahjong is these hard life lessons, absolutely for sure. It's just stuff happens, and sometimes that stuff is not fair.
So maybe this is the thing we can't. I think because by reaching his Yakuman, Dave made himself an agent in his own story.
That's
whereas
true.
often I dammer and I become a non-agent and I become just a passive witness to my story, which is loss.
You're not going to do it because you were sat in the wrong seat. Yeah, it's just rough times. And I think the next 2 hands after this were just like denouement of like South 4, so I'm like desperately trying to end the game, and I think it goes like...
Can we go over the South 4? I just be interested to see how everyone reacted to the South 4 after, because I don't think enough, I think it's one of those things that people don't, when something massive like this happens to a table, something that really just turns everything that's happened for the last, 7 hands, right?
Yeah, it turns it all upside down.
For the last 6 hands, we've all kind of been playing, all knowing where our places are. Can you hide the tiles? I can't stand seeing the wall. It drives me mental.
I'm sorry.
It's just not fun. Anyway, so, but we don't, people sort of study, but they always look at, this is the points, whereas they don't really, your temperament will always kind of absorb the experience before, right? So when something like that happens, it's going to change the way people behave.
The whole mentality. I feel it back because this game was on stream, so people might be reviewing it doubly, but it's all good. Yeah, so this is, I can tell you what I was thinking.
Can you tell me what the door is? Because it's got a.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I did? I did that because the other. Let me take it away. I did it because the other thing had my full name on it, and I just wanted to like not broadcast my last name all the time. Although I guess everyone knows that, so please don't murder me, friends. So my thinking when I see these tiles is, well, shit. Like, this is not my opportunity because I just want to win like something real fast and just be done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not a fast hand that I've got. So now I just have to kind of hope that the dealer doesn't have anything good going on. And I couldn't see, but looking now, the dealer's got some good stuff going on.
You didn't take the mask away, by the way. The mask is still there. The thing which blocks the door tile.
Oh, because I didn't update. Sorry, it'll fade out.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Didn't mean to interrupt your... Yeah, there you go. It looks beautiful now.
Southport went to draw the players. Yeah, just don't murder me. That's all I ask. Just don't murder me. It's fine if you want to know who I am. I don't mind if people know who I am. Like, I'm a guy. I'm streaming in public. It's fine. I got a face, but like, just don't kill me. That's all I ask. And leave a hot style on his doorstep. All right, so I'm sad because I'm like, nothing good is going to happen here with these tiles, and I'm happy about it. Dealer is going to throw their north. Where are we going here? Throw a chun. Yeah, Chuck. Edge tiles are coming out. I'm a little surprised by this holding of the chun over the 3-man, actually. I guess the idea is 5/6 is a block, so we're just done with that.
Yeah.
I've had maybe it's also this game. I like had a very flirtatious relationship with Itsu. So I didn't want to give my beats away.
Again, these are the other things that sort of inform how we play, right? That I swear to God, some Yaku just chase me, and I'm like, leave me alone. I'm done with you now. You're creeping me out.
9. All right, so I'm sitting here turning this into 4. I'm like, okay, 4, 4, 5, 6. 4, 4, 5, A can turn into 4, 5, 6 because honestly, I have 2 other pairs. I really don't need to worry about keeping the 4s as a pair. I don't care about that, which maybe is suboptimal. Actually, the West might have been a better. I will
say one thing. I'd be a little concerned if I were you that you've got 4 man tiles on the same Suji string.
Yes, I would. So I think if I recall properly, I end up very concerned about that by the end of this hand because I'm realizing I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what is the worst thing that can happen to me? The worst thing that can happen to me right now is like dealing into a dealer Mongon. You know, something like that is the worst. The best thing that happens to me is some other player, because everyone else now feels like they have to fight and is going to do something. But the fact that the dealer's in last means the dealer feels they have to fight the most. So it's like, this is awkward. I think that's why I'm holding this West as just like a thing to make sure I have a get out of jail free card. I throw the 7 because 2-4 is a little better.
And I said, and then you've reduced that 4 tiles on the same Suji string to 3, which is good.
5, 6, 7.
Dealer is having a good time up there.
I'm trading up my pair of 1-sos for the pair of 8 pins. Maybe good, maybe bad.
So your exit strategy is the West tile.
Yeah, the West tile right now is my safe exit. I have noticed that the 1 is now safe on one player. I have the West as a hard safe on the dealer. I have a 6 as like I'm counting my safes on each player. Like I have a 6 as a hard safe on the player to my left. I have at least 1 tile for each player that I know I'm fine with.
I mean, my worry for you is with that 3-man. Now we know that this isn't true because we can see our friends' tiles opposite us. My worry that with that 3-man early discard, the 1-man is dangerous.
2-3.
Yeah.
Or 2-3-3 got cut down into 2-3 or something like that.
Yeah. I just, it would worry me.
9's out. Oish, everyone's doing so well. Trade the West for the Hots. Probably just dreaming about maybe I can get a Hots or something. Who even knows?
I mean,
out. Player left now has
he can call now.
Player left reaches. I don't know how I feel about this decision because they already have the Haku. So they really, I don't know. I wouldn't
reach that. I think you can 5. I think you can improve your weight here, right? I can't see what he's got under the reachy declaration there.
The reach is going to be 2 and 40 for 2,600, plus the reach stick is 3,600, which gets them above 30,000.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So the reach bumps them up because the Dama wouldn't get them enough to get over 30,000. So I kind of see the push.
But if you've got the Dama, you don't have to call a run, even if someone throws a tile out. Yeah. You could still improve it.
What do we consider the improvement of this? I guess the weight improvement, a 4-pin or something would be great.
Yeah, or an 8-pin.
Yeah, a 4-pin or an 8-pin would be a great improvement.
So I mean, if it's Sumo with the dragon, so yeah, that's not enough.
No, Sumo with the dragon is 8. It's only 10. So it's 30. It's a hard 30. No, but with the closed weight, it becomes 32. So it's 40. Sumo with the dragon is still 2 and 40.
Yeah.
So if they don't reach it and they sumo it, it's 2 and 40 and they got what they needed.
Yeah. So
if they don't reach it and they roan it, it's not good enough. So they don't maybe want that, but they can pass it.
Yeah. So exactly. So
and if they get the upgrade.
And if you sumo it, It's great. You're done. If otherwise you hope for an upgrade.
Yeah, it's possible.
And even better, you could get the 9-pin as well. So the things that would improve your hand here are, I mean, I would argue that even a 5-pin improves your hand because a 9 of bamboo is, there's only 1 left now. Anyway, so yeah, 4-pin then, an 8-pin.
8-pin are the
or
two
a
improvements
9-pin.
On this hand. A 9-pin would be interesting because a 9-pin gets you Ipeko and you could then Dama that entirely.
And also you can defend yourself against these other 2 players who aren't that far away from you.
No,
you don't
they're
want
not
to throw into them either.
And they might have reached because they wanted to push. Because they wanted to make some noise at the table and make everyone. Yeah, we have 2 people. My 6 pins somewhere.
Is that what we call bag holding the 6-pin? Is that bag holding? Because I just feel like it's not.
Oh, yeah. The rug pull's about to happen here. The rug pull on the 6-pin is about to happen.
See, I would say it's not bag holding. Bag holding is this green dragon that Dave is holding here desperately, which I like to fancy
It's
as a
gone
safe
now.
pile, but it's bag holding that for sure.
It's gone. I threw it. It's done. And at this point, so our third place player throws a 2-man, which implies to me that they're not folding, or at least they're not immediately folding. They're going to keep pushing.
Yeah, and let's remember as well, these players, he's reached. He might be stressed because of that nonsense Yakuman that Dave just scored.
That's true.
I'm not saying this person
hard
has
save
that
from
kind
the
of
dealer.
mentality, but that's the sort of thing I do. I'll be like, oh, geez, I just got to win something we reach,
That's interesting. By drawing the 7, they're basically... This is actually ends up being a key and smart play. Although, again, they can't know this because they can't see everything. They swap the 5-6 man set for the 6-7 pin set, which lets them incorporate the 6 pin into their hand. And
well,
the 6 is a hard safe.
Yeah,
so they play a hard safe tile. They swap these sets around, and by doing that, they incorporate a dangerous tile, and now doesn't have to be dangerous to them anymore because they can use it. So that ends up being a great play for them.
Good play.
Pin comes through. I get a 7. So now I have 4, 5, 6, and I'm just like, F this. I'm throwing my 1 because to me, I don't necessarily care that much if I deal in.
The
non-dealer player, I'll still be in first place. It is unlikely to me that this is a massive hand because they've thrown the 6 and the 3 and all these tiles around the door.
And you can see 3 of the 2-mans.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of like, fine. 1 man it is. Let's do it. I'm happy to dodge, but I think at this point I straight up was like, should I deliberately try to throw into this?
Yeah, so Flam makes a good point here. So Flam, you're making great points. I really, Can you please just come every week because you're this is interesting.
It's true.
And exactly, and because you're the amount of Uma you get all of it, right? If you're at 30, the only one over 30.
I didn't actually know this until later. I didn't realize how the Uma works. I didn't think about it because I'm dumb.
Dave needs to check the tournament rules. Anyway, so I think that's a great point though, is that if you do let, even if it's a small amount and you end the game, but if he's over 30, you have to share your Uma, which is a big deal. That's a lot of points.
It's 5,000.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, it's a good chunk of points, but it's not like devastating, but it's not good. It shouldn't do it.
I know, but if you think about it, you basically, you've got yourself a first and a second. If you're playing a long league game, being the only person over 30 gives you what is basically a first and a second, rather than just it's
an advantage. I generally decide that I don't want to think about dealing into this guy just because I feel like it's a little unsportsmanlike. I don't know. I don't like the Sashikomi life. Like, it's not for me. I think the 1 man at this point is like a rational. Oh,
that's what Elon Musk is doing. He's pretending. He's pretending he's Sashikomi, which is what I feel like everyone's like, oh, this was Sashikomi, this was Sashikomi. And I'm like, you just dealt a bad tile, kid. Like, it's okay. Elon, you just dealt a bad tile. You can just admit it.
So I keep going with the 1. South comes out. Oh yeah, now there's another reach. So now our dealer reaches, waiting on the 5-8 pin. The dealer's pushing. Reach. They need to push. It's a pinfu. It's reach pinfu. Fine. It continues their deal. Fine. They need to get this done. They're chasing. Awesome. Great. And I'm like, well, shit.
It's Twitter the points.
Fortunately, the 1 man gets thrown, so I can just throw my other 1 man and just keep that going while I think about what the heck to do as my hand starts getting into like Tanyao zone, and I'm kind of like, all right, I'm in Tanyao zone, but do I actually want to be doing any of this because this has just gotten real dangerous, and I'd much rather let these 2 fight it out than worry about it, because I can't afford to deal into the dealer.
And I think that's what that reach from the player opposite you has actually made you think. So now, rather you might have been thinking, should I end this? Whereas now he's
I was thinking, can I dance around and get like Tanya Door 1 and just end it?
Exactly. Now he's like, no, I'm going to reach, and you're not playing this game, Dave. This is between me and this dude.
They've just pushed me right out, and they probably know it. If they're paying attention, they know I can't afford to risk getting hit by them. So this player to my right throws the 4 man, which seems a little dangerous. Although seeing the 5-6 get cut immediately might lead them to believe that this is just no longer a set. We know the 1's safe, so it's not a 2-3-1 wait on the 1-4. The 5-6 just got cut, so the only thing it's probably not the 4-7 wait unless they were somehow throwing away an Ipeko for no reason.
But he's in a similar position in that you're not actually part of this game anymore. Yeah. He needs to
do something.
Yeah, he needs to not be 4th, which is a real risk now with the dealer having reached.
He took in this 3-so, which is a good tile for them.
Yeah. I think he has to push. I mean, this
Yeah,
is the problem when you have these kind of all lasts which are so overweighted. He needs to also go in.
yeah.
And I
Now
said,
I'm very happy to see the 4-man.
yeah.
Because the 4-man clears more space for me to sit and
Mhm.
be real sad drawing this Forso. So I'm like, oh man, here's Tanya time, but I'm sitting here like, okay, but I cannot like reverse course and muck around here. I have to be
Mm-mm.
out of this. Like pushing your heart for Tanya and dealing into a dealer Mongon is my nightmare. I do not want that
Mm.
to happen.
Mm.
So let's play safe with the 4. Let everyone else do their pushing. The 7 gets thrown. The 2 gets thrown. Another 4. I'm out of this entirely. 3 because I know the 3 is safe. Do I know the 3 is safe? But the 6 is safe. The 4 is pretty much dead. Is the 4 entirely dead?
Mm. Yeah, free safe. Yeah.
I'm pretty.
Not safe, but safe-ish.
Wow, good instincts here. Draws the 8-pin, throws the 1-pin. I mean, 1-pin just came out, so 1-pin safe. So
He
there.
does not have a rating of 2,142 without having
Hey,
good instincts.
I'm just saying it's good instincts to do it. I'm
This is not a
complimenting.
man who would buy Twitter when he was high.
No, for sure not. Okay, yeah. So we swap. We say, okay, I'm gonna get rid of these 1-pins. Probably because also this 8-pin gives you the 7-8 weight with 8-9-9-9. You get the 7-8 weight, which is like a pretty good shape. You get a bunch of good stuff. So the 1-pin, which is safe, is going to be coming out from there.
Yeah.
All these tiles are coming
I mean,
out.
the problem he's got there is the 3-pin, and how he's going to work that.
And I draw another Dora, which I'm like, this is good news and bad news. It's good news because it means I know a little more about where the Dora even are. But it's bad news because I cannot do anything anymore. So now it's just disassemble the 2-mans.
Why not the 2-pin?
I don't recall. I think I had this weird idea that if everything went super well, I could get a 3-pin in and have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You see, Dave has mistaken luck for genius.
I know. I'm a genius here. If it comes out.
I really should have gotten rid of that 2-pin, and you've allowed the 2-pin to become progressively dangerous. This is bad.
No, the 2-pins come out.
Dave. No, not for the player who hasn't reached, not for the player on the right.
True.
So you should have discarded it straight away. You're bag holding that 2-pin. It's gonna lead you to disaster.
It's not. It's fine.
It is. That is bag holding.
I throw the Dora now because the Dora just came out, and because this player's in reach, no one has changed anything. So that's why I'm throwing the Dora. I'm like, this is the moment. Get the hell out of here.
Yes. Precisely.
The Forso comes out, and now I throw this is another tile that's come out. Yeah, it's come out. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, no, why not the Forso? Again, you seem to have forgotten the player on the right is still live and still changing up his hand.
Yeah, it's fine.
If you're going to fold properly.
They look like they're folding to me. And it goes to Senpai no 10.
But you don't know. You don't know, and there's no reason. You've decided you're not doing this, so why not just play hard safe? Just admit them right.
Hard safe. I threw the 5. Well, I get the 5-pin. I'm not throwing the 5-pin. I'm not throwing the 1-so because I can't see enough of everything else. I guess I could throw the 4-so and just be done with it.
Why don't you throw the 4-so?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, good. As long as you don't remember, that's fine. Yes.
We don't know if them. Yeah, that's true. You don't want to
So K10, for those people who don't speak Japanese, it's Keski Tenpai. So having the shape of Tenpai, but not having a Yaku, but you could still declare yourself as Tenpai at the end.
Yeah, I actually agree. I agree. The 4-so is a better throw here. It does deny them the ability to call anything. It is as safe. It's basically hard safe. Yeah, no, it is hard safe. It came out. The reach people didn't win on it. The player who discarded it is not me. 4-so is hard safe. 4-so is the right pick here. This was a mistake. Not a mistake I was punished for, but still a mistake. Yeah. Hatsu would have been okay too. Yeah, no one can call it. It's dead.
Yeah.
So this goes Tenpai no 10, which is mildly frustrating to me, but whatever. Dealer keeps dealing and get another hand out of it. So now the whole thing starts again. And this time I have this, which also is like frustrating. This is not the worst. This is much more.
Yeah, no, this is better.
Much more able to be worked with. And there's 2 reach sticks on the table, and I'm kind of like,
don't eat the reach sticks. Don't be greedy.
I'm very greedy. Except that I throw the east. Everyone starts with fairly generic trimmings. Wests, dragons and honors coming out. 1-pin out. 6, 7, 8 comes together. That's very nice. And I have 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I'm like, all right, this I can maybe push and make something happen. We got 3, 4, 5. Look at this. It's all happening. It's all happening. I got a pair now. I just need one of anything. I keep the 9 for the 8, 8, 9. Maybe that's cool. Everything just seems like it's going my way.
It does.
Unfortunately, I know how this turns out. Where the hand gets here, and then I never draw anything useful ever again. This is Tempai. It's Tempai on the 2-man. But I don't reach it.
No, good. No reach.
Because I just don't feel good about a closed weight Tempai, and I think to myself, a closed weight Tempai like this, given that the dealer is in a suicidal position, basically, they're still in last place, they need to win. They will not care, and probably should not. Going into reach is a bad idea. I want to retain the ability to bail if something doesn't go my way.
You can call this into the Tanyao and improve your weight by doing so.
Yes, I could pong the 8-so, throw the 1.
Or you could, pong the 8-so or pong the 3-man.
Yeah.
And you've improved your weight.
Yeah. So I have options here. So I'm like, I'm going to chill out. I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to chill.
Or Chi the 6-man. Do you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't like
Chi the 6-man wouldn't be terrible. I'd accept it because I could still improve it later anyway. Because then I'd be, I could improve a bunch of things.
I guess I wouldn't like the 8-3-man. I don't know. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I see someone else has the exact same idea. Player to my right, who is now also Tempai. With a closed weight on the 3-so, but choosing not to take the reach. For a few interesting reasons. One being the Sanshoku upgrade. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. So with one tile I upgrade to Sanshoku, and with one of many other tiles I can upgrade this to just be Pinfu. So it seems like their opinion is, and they know, again, for South 4, this is going to be their last strike. So if it's going to be their last strike, they want more than reach and maybe an Ura. They need more points.
I think it's worth noting here that if this wasn't Auras and the points weren't the way they were, this is the sort of hand you might consider reaching because of the reach sticks on the table.
Because
it's not just a reachy Nomi. There's all those sticks over there that you can claim. So
yeah,
context
Chain Foreman would actually be really sick. Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, two reach sticks on the table help with this.
Yeah, Chi the Foreman. I like Chi the Foreman.
So this now, I get the 6-man, and this brings me to a Tempai that I still don't want to reach because I just don't care. I'd rather the 3-man or the 8-so come out and I just win and it's over than I get a crafty, I get some extra points. It'll be 3,000 points for me and a lock in first place, and it's great. So I'm happy with this if it happens.
And reaching is not going to stop anyone here. They've all got to play.
Everyone's got to go.
Yeah.
So I'll just put myself in a dangerous position where I can't even stop. Plus, I have these 2 8-sos, which are hard safe on the dealer. So like locking them in and rendering myself unable to be defensive if I have to seems dumb. Player to my right upgrades their 5, 6, 7 to a 6, 7, 8. So I have 2 6, 7, 8s out of 3. They're really close to getting their. The other neat thing is if they're going this way. If they
they could get the 3-sided weight. I know.
Yeah, you can get the 3-sided weight, which is like really nice.
I'm excited for them.
Oh, you are correct, actually, Dr. Milan. Yeah, the player right, because they're in third by 100 points, if they reach, they put themselves into fourth. While, like, if the player to the left wins off of me, then they hang out in third place still, which is a much better spot for them to be. So we hold the 3, and the 3 is still someone's win tile. But
Each.
And now this happens. And this is a very interesting... Oh, wow. I did not see this drama when I did it. The player left reaches on a 9... Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is a 3-6 man weight. Sad times for me, actually. And they throw the 3-so, which would have been player right's winning tile, but cannot be because of the no reach. But again, I don't think they would have wanted this to happen. It would have been too small a win to be worth it for them, although it would have, I guess, locked in their third place.
I feel like at this point, they don't have a dealership. Locking in third is possibly your best bet.
Boom.
You don't want fourth here.
Dealer pongs the 3-so and throws the 2-so, which is a risky play, but I think dealers decided, like, I gotta go. I gotta make something happen because otherwise I'm just going to sit here while someone else wins. time to go. I can get another deal out of this if I just aggressively Tanya this out. Sure. They draw and discard the Forso. And I am sitting here in a sad spot. But with this 6-pin, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to bail again and let someone else win, like, again and throw around again?
Yeah. You've got enough points to bail again. I mean, wait a minute. First of all, can you bail? What have you got to bail with?
I have the 7-pin. If I really just want a hard bail, I can bail with the 7-pin.
Oh, yeah, no, but look at the other players. I would not say that 7-pin was safe on them. I mean, obviously, yeah. So opposite is, yeah. I'd probably, what would I throw? Oh God, I don't know. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, there's no winning, so I just play forward. I'm like, forget it. I'm just gonna keep going. So I throw the 6-pin as I get it. Dealer plays out their 7-pin. The 1-pin is actually very safe. So I throw the 1-pin. Safe on Reef, safe on the dealer, and player right through a 2-pin as drawn. I'm pretty sure they're not hanging out with a 1-pin weight or a 1-pin in their head. And the 4th one's over here. So there it goes. 4-pin. 4-pin gets called by the dealer. The dealer is still not Tempai, actually, which is interesting to me.
But they could have been, right?
Could they have been?
We're waiting on the 6-man.
Yeah, they could have thrown the 5/8 so to wait on the 6-man, but they chose not to and threw the 5-man instead. Maybe they were specifically worried about tiles in some way?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're right to be worried. But...
Well, the 8-so's my tile. They should have thrown that, the one they already said they didn't want. They should have. This is how it should have gone. They should have just dealt into me to get ready on the 6-man, but instead they didn't. And the 2-man comes out. I throw the 9-pin. I throw in the 6. I'm like, fine. 9-pin's hard safe on the dealer. 4-pin comes out because that's safe. North comes out. 2-pin comes out. East goes. East is the last East, so East is very, very safe. Another 2. Like, the door has been demolished at this point. This also gives me some brashness, because I'm sitting here thinking, well, I know where most of the door... Well, we know where all the door are now. There are no door left. So there's no unexpected value spikes that are going to happen from the dealer, which is nice. The only thing I have to worry about is what's about to happen.
Please don't tell me throw the 4-man. Please don't throw the 4-man.
I should have thrown the 4-man. That would have been great.
No, it would be terrible.
No, I throw the 3-man.
Why?
Because this gets me Pinfu Tanyo Dora, which is worth extending my lead with.
Dave.
What?
Just fold. You spent all that time folding. What are you going for? No, just 2-pin.
No, my logic here is, or what I'm thinking here, I won't say my logic, I'll do you that dignity. I won't say my logic, I'll say what I'm thinking here is, I don't want to lose another 3,000 points to being not ready. I don't want to let the deal continue if I can help it. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, if I don't do something here, then I run the risk of slowly but surely letting the pile of points I have bleed away as everyone else goes nuts and tries to make things happen.
But we're at the very end. There's only a few draws left.
Yes.
You don't have to play this one. You're not going to win this. At 2,000 points, I mean, no, it's going to be all right. You're going to lose 1,500. I would not have done this. Would you have lost? No, because our friend over there is going to... I'd have paid the 3,000. You're so far ahead, it doesn't matter. And you're paying 1,000 to each player as well.
But so I'm still losing. I'm losing league points for this.
No, but you're so far ahead. And if you can keep them, you still got a chance to send our friend below 30,000. And because you've now sent him above 30,000, you've lost more than if you'd have
He wins off of it. It ends up being 2,000. They get above 30,000. Hey, Siri. Which is not really devastating for me. It's true. If I had folded entirely, then what would have happened? Let's play rabbits because we're playing rabbits.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If I'd folded entirely and dealt safe, this player draws a 5-pin and probably doesn't do anything with it and play safe.
It's true.
Hots.
It's true. Mahjong backer.
And 9-pin. The 9-so would have let the dealer become ready by dealing the 7-mon. The hots would have come out safe. So the dealer would have been ready. Everyone else would have been ready. I would have lost 3,000 points, and we would have done it all again.
It is Pale Fire,
Ooh.
which is a London brew, Pressure Drop Brewing. It was a gift. It's quite delicious, actually. It has peach, mango, and citrus tasting notes.
Ooh,
I did think it said a modern pale ale brewed with American hope, and I wondered what hope tasted like, because we haven't had that for a while, and then I realised it said hops. So I got to go to Specsavers. Anyway, so I personally, when I'm that far ahead, I know you're going to lose a few points, but you've lost more by letting him get over 30.
No, I've lost less. Well, by letting him get over 30, yes. Again, the Uma situation, to be fair, I was not fully, like, paying attention to at the time. So that's my bad. I should know that Uma would leave. So that's all on me. I'm not blaming anyone. But, like, so I wasn't really thinking about the Uma. I ended up paying less points than I would have paid, frankly. Because I paid only 2,000 as opposed to 3,000. And no opportunity for anyone else to get points. No opportunity for me to get points.
But with the Uma, you recognize, though, that it's...
I recognize, yeah, the Uma had value. I guess the only other thing I could have done, maybe if I was going, and maybe, again, it's one of those things where it's like, if you're doing it, you should just do it, is maybe I should have reached on the 6-man and just been like, if I'm going to go at all, then I should go as hard as I can and get the Pinfu, the Ipeco potential, the reach, like just say we're doing this and commit to it as opposed to noodling.
That's my attitude, yeah. It's like,
yeah,
come on.
There's also that attitude of, but again, the reverse thought on that was, by staying quiet about it, maybe one of these other foldy players will deal into me. These other, like, they're not really, they're more like, well, I'll say they're like moving around players. Maybe one of these other players won't notice and will deal into me. I don't know. I see what you're saying. I think there's validity to saying, like, don't even bother. But at the time, I was feeling a little frustrated with this being like the South Forth 2, and seeing it turn into South Forth 3. I'm like, I just don't want to give opportunities for this to go away, and I'd rather just take the win I can get and be done. Maybe that's right. Maybe that's wrong. I'm very open again. I'm not gonna say that's the only answer.
Is every drunk a hopeful drunk? No.
If you're dreaming every drunk's a hopeful drunk, that makes you hopeful. Think about that.
Yeah, I think you had a lot of hope with that.
I did have a lot of hope. Now, if I'd gotten away with a 3-man, I would have won on the 2-man that would have been thrown by the player in reach.
It's so risky, though. Just so risky.
I wouldn't quite call. I don't like
there
when
is
people
nothing
use
there on the discard pool that has any suggestion that the 3-man was okay.
Oh no, not at all. I see no logic to saying the 3-man is safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, I could have thrown the 4-pin. I could have thrown the 2-pin. I had other things I could have thrown to be safe. The 2-pin would have been the best. Well, the 2-pin is not the hardest safe tile. The dealer could want the 2-pin.
4-pin then, because they've got 1-7 out on the table. The dealer.
Yeah, they called a 4-pin, so they obviously don't have any, unless they were doing something really weird, where they had like if they had 3, 4, 4, 5, and they called the 3, 4, 5 to keep the 4s as the pair. But I see the other 4-pins. That can't be the case. 2-pin is not 100% safe because of the dealer. The dealer could want it.
They could have want it now.
Which I would not love, because then that would be like Tanya 1 for the dealer.
Oh, wait.
Could they have? Is there Kabe on anything? Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, it could be if you were watching where the discards came out of.
I see 3 3s.
No, but I think what the point is that the 2-pins come out. He hasn't changed his hand because the 9-pin was an instant discard. Whether people are really paying that is a problem. I don't think they are. And this is why Ron is a little bit easier than 10-hole.
I see what you're saying.
Because it grays them out if they're instant discards. Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, the 2-pin is safe, assuming that they didn't, for some reason, decide they don't want the points of the player directly above them, which seems like a dumb That seems like an impossible play unless there's some like deliberate personal grudge from the dealer
Yeah,
against
I
me.
was about to say,
I
I'd
cannot
rather know
see
their name
why
then.
the
You
dealer
know,
would be like, no, I'm not going to roan from you. I'm going to hope Dave
Dave,
throws it
yeah.
next time
And
around. That
look on
son of a...
Facebook page and you're like, let's just try
Yeah.
and run off Dave. Let's just change the entire game of Mahjong where you get extra points if you
We
run
just
off
hate
Dave.
Dave. Yeah. So yeah, this was greedy. I agree. It was greedy. I was like, I just want to be
I
done
have a
with this.
question though. With your point lead being this much aggressive playing, dealing to non-dealers is actually encourageable, right? Was there some placing issue? Yeah,
Oh, we
so
were just talking about
I'm
this. Yeah, there's a
serious. Yeah,
placing
so
issue.
this I think before you turned up. So you get there's a fixed amount of UMA and it's shared amongst the number of people who are plus 30k. So if there's 3 people above 30k, then that 12k UMA or whatever they're using is shared amongst 3 people. However, if there's only 1 person above 30k, that person gets all of the 12k.
Yeah. So
So
basically,
now
this
he's got to share it with our friend. I mean, he has to share a smaller portion because he's still first, but he still has to share some of that 12k with the guy that he just dealt into.
effectively this deal-in cost me 7,000 points. 2,000 came out of my pocket for what I pay, and that 2,000 was less than what I would have paid for being the only no 10 player at the table. So cool, but because that then gets this player above 30,000, they then take 5 of the UMA that I would have gotten plus 20, and now it's plus 15 plus 5. So that 5,000 is also something I lost because of this play. So this 7,000 loss.
This is the UMA we used to play when I did run a club in London, which unfortunately now is in the long, long past now. It has become Makashi Banashi. It is a long story, which is really sad. You see, when you think, oh, I left London only like a year ago, and then you're like, 3, 4, 5 years ago?
No, it hasn't been a year. The pandemic time happened.
I know. Do you know what? The whole pandemic time is just compressed to me. Like I meet people who I haven't met since the beginning of the pandemic. Oh, hi. Yeah, and then I forget that actually 2 years have passed. Like the pandemic, it's almost like it's been removed from my timeline.
It's like deleted from the universe. It's so weird. It's just like this time that did not count.
No, I mean I struggle even to kind of remember now.
Oh, you're right. They passed from second also. Yeah, so yeah, unless the dealer had a very, very personal grudge against me, 2-pin is safe.
Which I wouldn't, to be honest. I mean, that might be true. People have some funny grudges against our poor Dave.
Shit, Yakuman, I swear to God, I'm taking his points and no one else's. We'll end him.
I'd respect that.
I won't lie. There have been points when I've played games where I wondered if people weren't... I don't like using the word targeting because it does imply that kind of thing, but I have wondered if people weren't like unreasonably nervous about like things. I don't know. It sounds really haughty and weird, but there have been moments where people are like, well, I can't let you keep your dealership. You'll do well. And I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that. Like, I'm not that great. And like, I don't know. I generally try to... It's funny because there are really 2 sides to it, because you do want to like know the players at the table. You want to be a little in their head. You want to think about what they would do. But like at the same time, it's like I always feel like it's a little weird to be like, you know, oh, I'm playing against Garth and I know Garth is good, so I better just like go nuts to shut Garth down. And it's like, it seems a little weird to me.
Right, but that's not unfairly targeting him with a reaching Nomi hand or something like that.
To be fair, yes.
And then nothing changes. And I just want this off you, not that guy.
Really, you consider it penalty worthy for someone to pass it all up and then take it off one specific person like that? I'm curious about what
no, yeah, I think if they were to do it in this situation where by winning from the player in whatever North Sea, if he'd have passed the 2-pin, waited around until you threw the 2-pin, I would consider that very sketchy. And I would be reviewing their games because there's no reason to do that. He would have got into 3rd place by taking it from the North player, and it doesn't benefit him to take it from you instead. In fact, he took a huge risk because you may never have thrown it.
Yeah, it may never ever come as the last 2-pin on the table.
So if I was refereeing, I would be pulling up his game, and it's digital. I'd be pulling up his games. I'd be pulling up your games to see if you have been unfairly giving points to that individual.
So that's what you'd be worried more, that it was some kind of collusion.
Yeah.
Where they're texting me frantically, like, throw the 2-pin, I need it now.
Yeah. I'd be very concerned.
Even in that situation, it seems like it would be very, very dumb for us as colluding team. You know, like if we're a colluding team, I'll be throwing the tile no one else threw. You know, so for them to win on and being like, oops, I guess I just threw it. Like, there's no benefit for colluding team to pass up the win from someone else in this table situation at all.
I mean, the difficulty here, so Chira, I think the difficulty here is less because it is digital. Most people have the auto win button switched on, right? Unless they turn it off if there's a reason that they want to get from the third player or something, you know.
I just really like clicking Rowan. I don't want the computer to take that from me.
But I have had to mediate in situations where someone's gone, well, that person should have declared Ron, and they didn't. And I've spoken to that person. They've gone like, yeah, I misread my weight. What do you say? What do you say to that? I can't say, well, prove that you misread your weight. And I think that's the problem, and something the community has to start kind of establishing, is that unless we record these ref decisions, we can't start to build a picture where a player is doing this repeatedly.
Yeah.
Because you can't. If a player does it once, what can you do? And there's other reasons that someone may not check out. So, for example, something that was interesting for the WRC is at the final table, if you couldn't make first place and it was close between first and second, you should just not. If you couldn't change the rankings, you should just let it go. It's difficult. I've misclicked far too many times to turn auto run off. Exactly.
Weird. Why did that? Oh, I went to say, I'm sorry. Flummy asked about the meet tomorrow. The meet of tomorrow is going to be rescheduled because I just got told like yesterday that they're having a big Magic the Gathering event at Uncommon, so I have to push it. I'm sorry. Sorry for the late notice for everyone. It's really frustrating they don't tell me these things until like right before.
Magic the Gathering? Jeez, that's still going on.
It is still going on. It's still a thing.
Let's ask Elon to buy Magic the Gathering.
That'd be great. He just fire everyone.
So yeah, I think establishing intent sometimes with these things that look sketchy is really difficult, and you do have to.
It is hard.
It's something we struggle with, I think, because there are malicious actors, and building up a picture of this person's doing it repeatedly is really very difficult, especially when, you know, all of the leagues are kind of disjointed. There's not so much conversation between maybe some of the big organizers. And people slip through, and it's unfortunate. I mean, so the big cheating incident happened in Europe.
Oh God!
I was pretty sure that was happening at the European Championship before it was revealed.
Which one are we talking about?
The individual who was snaking the tiles out the wall. Because I played, out of whatever wall was in front of them. Because I remember calling the ref twice at the European Championship, and I said something's wrong. I can't accuse that person, but I know that something's wrong. I don't know, like, yeah.
Was that the one I was reffing, or I was part of the ref?
No.
This is before that. It's 2020.
It was the one in Austria. The one before 2014. So 2013 it would have been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. That one had a few quirks.
Yeah, but the individual only got caught later the next year. Was it next year? I think it was the next year, because someone grabbed their hand and revealed the tiles that they had been palming into their hand, right? And it was only when it was that obvious. I can't have been the only other person who sort of. And the other thing is, maybe people don't raise the flag. You know, I'm a confident person. I've got some sort of status in the community, so I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to say something. I can say something. Whereas other people who watch things, witness things, may feel less empowered to go and say,
It's
I
difficult.
can't. I'm not going to accuse that person, but that's a little bit weird. We should keep our eyes on that. Other times, I think the very first European Championship, there was another cheating incident.
Oh God!
And God, it was terrible. But I think that time, what happened was that they were palming tiles during the deal, right? And then so one player yanked all the tiles off the table suddenly. And then, of course, they'd had 2 tiles in their hands. So then they were like, well, there's some missing 2 tiles. You've been palming them. One other interesting cheat. There's a few interesting cheats. Other interesting cheat I did witness. And I didn't do anything about it, actually, because it was just not the right environment to say, well, someone's cheating. But they were obviously taking tiles out of the discard pool, assuming that people couldn't remember their discard pools, right? So I was there playing, and I was like, that is not my discard pool. That I did not discard. And this happened a few times, and I'm like, cause, you know, people always, they can get quite handsy, right? And they kept on like adjusting tiles on the table. I'm like, he's picking the tiles out of the discard piles. Unbelievable. But I mean, they must get away with it. These people must get away with it often enough, and it's as the community gets bigger, it gets easier because you might never see that player ever again.
It really depends. I think there's a few levels to dealing with cheating, or at least from what I've seen. I feel like level number one is like, what are the stakes, right? Like, and the stakes change. If you have, let's say, let's look at again, we'll use esports as our example, right? Let's look at League of Legends. They have a multi-million-dollar prize pool. Lots of people would cheat for $1 million at the end of the day. Like, if you just want to know, it's like the availability of cheaters, if there's a giant prize pool, if there's a giant reward, if it's incredibly popular, your pool of cheaters goes up because many more people care about cheating for a lot of money or cheating for a lot of clout. Being very, very famous is something very, very big. And I think we live a bit of a sheltered life because we generally do not have prize pools. We generally do not have a huge amount of clout in our community. I would say, as much as I love everyone and everyone has clout in my heart, like, there aren't thousands of people being like, I am desperate to win the European Reach Championship. And like, it's very difficult. Oh yeah, there's old Kojima Takeo cheating course videos. It's really impressive. I really love the sleight of hand stuff. I don't think cheating is good, but I find the skill of doing the sleight of hand to be very impressive.
I mean, so Chirel, you can't put a camera on each table. My solution has always been to ask the refs to be extra vigilant. Yeah. And honestly, when more refs start walking past the tables, the less likely people are to do it. Like, they want to get away with it, and if they feel they won't get away with it, they won't attempt it. Right? Yeah,
they won't do it.
So, and really, things like European Mahjong Association, it's something that would be nice if we started actually making more information, creating more information about players. I mean, I've been accused of cheating as well. I was accused of, when we used to have score sheets, which was a long time ago, someone accused me of not writing a mangan in the right direction. So I gave it to another player instead of this other player. And they were like, she's cheating. And I was like, geez. I mean, yeah, it's horrible. But should that have gone on a record? Most definitely it should have done. Because, of course, I don't have to worry. This was a horrible misunderstanding, and it's never going to happen again because it was just a horrible misunderstanding. However, if another tournament I went to, someone was like, something's going wrong, this score sheet is wrong, then you could be like, well, she's been caught doing a wrong score sheet before, and someone's accused her of this, and well, now we have to start looking at this.
Yeah, I think record keeping is really important, and as Bionel mentions, it's habitual, and I think it's true. I think the type of person who's going to cheat is the type of person who enjoys the feeling they get of putting one over, enjoys the feeling they get of making it happen. Again, especially because we don't have the prize of massive clout. We don't have the prize of $1 million, The only prize you're really going to get out of it is feeling like you're somehow superior by getting away with the cheating. And so, having records, having an understanding of player habits, having players be a little bit familiar. And I think this also does happen as players just get better and more comfortable at a table playing the game. When I've had, and I've done this, I've had rooms full of people who are sitting at Mahjong tables for the first time with physical tiles, and they're very awkward and they're very focused on their own hand. And I could probably swap tiles out in front of them and they wouldn't notice that they're a little overwhelmed by all this stuff happening for their very first time. Cool. Yeah. Once everyone's really comfortable at a table, it does become a lot more obvious when someone is touching things in ways that are not okay. And I notice, and I find this very interesting, but I do notice that the people that I know who've played for a very long time start to get a little ornery about tile handling etiquette because of things like that, because they understand this is to prevent anyone from even having the suspicion that you're doing something weird about your tiles. And so you should be using just one hand, picking it up carefully, not shuffling everything in your hand around all the time. And because they understand it, they start to get a little more frustrated when people don't do it.
I mean, things like if I have to push the wall forward, when I withdraw my hands, I always withdraw my hands palm up so people can see I don't have things. If you obviously, I have to make a little bit more. I kind of push them forward, and if you push them forward and then pull them back and they're closed, people are going to be upset.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
If you have the palms open, it looks a bit ridiculous sometimes because I'm like, oh, I did something a bit odd. I had to adjust something, and my palms go up, and I'm like, look, nothing here, guys.
I've found that I have a habit of trying to interact with tiles very much with like my finger. Like pushing something gently, making it very clear, and you can see the thing I'm moving the whole time, and I'm not like covering things with my hands as best I can. And that's kind of like just what I happen to do. I'm not saying that's like a requirement or anything.
No.
It's something that I've noticed that I do to be very conscious of the fact that I'm clearly denoting what I'm doing on the table and making it also clear that I'm not taking anything away.
Yeah. And I think, I think that kind of habit though might have failed a little bit because of COVID again. You know, it's really shuffle palms up is another thing. Like
Shuffling
doing
palms
that.
up, yeah. Some of the older players I remember being very fastidious about shuffling palms up, which I thought was kind
Yeah.
of like interesting.
I mean, you know, the problem is though, of course, you know, if someone's really determined to cheat, they will still cheat.
Yeah.
These kinds of activities are just locking the door of your house. If someone really wants to rob your house, they're going to get in anyway.
Yeah, but it's like you don't want to end up like honestly and now I'm putting on my like institution hat, right? Like
mm,
no one is going to look down on the institution, the organization if a person comes in and cheats, you know?
mm,
And I'll use chess as a great example of this cuz chess had their whole big cheating thing. Like the idea
mm.
that some guy showed up and cheated at chess, everyone's like, "Well, what a bad guy he was for doing that." But when it gets to the point that the institution is like, "Well, actually like cheating is endemic and everyone does it." Like doping is a great example. You know, when doping becomes like everyone does it and most people get away with it, and every once in a while we throw someone to the wolves, or not to rain on your great sport, but like how the location of the World Cup is chosen. You know, like at this point,
I
like
was use bank regulation. You know, every now and then we throw someone. Oh, you what was it? It was the LIBOR scandal, right? Oh, you fixed the LIBOR right here, right? We'll
here's a
get you in
cookie.
trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like no, but at this
that's
point it's sad because no one's like, I can't believe Saudi Arabia paid to be the host of the World Cup. It's just like the World Cup, man. That's just how it goes, and that's where you really don't want to be in that state where people look at your organization
yeah.
and they're like,
I
you
mean,
know, cheating. That's just what
I
happens
will
there.
say that not all of the football associations in all countries are like that, but it is a particular problem with FIFA.
That Sepp
Yes.
guy. I've heard a lot of bad news about that Sepp guy.
Yeah.
Isn't that his
I
name?
mean,
Sepp, Sepp something.
I
What's
don't,
his last
I
name?
don't know. Like the World Cup starts next week or the week after. Anyway,
Ooh,
I'm
where's it gonna
waiting for
be?
that. I don't know, babe.
Who
But you
paid
know,
to
at the
host
moment,
it?
I said at the moment, all I've got now is I've got Elon Musk and FTX. You know, colliding. Those two dramas are colliding at the moment. I can't
What is this
focus on
smashing?
football drama.
Wait, what are we? What is smashing the window, Bionel? Give
Because
me.
you know, when you're trying to break into the house.
Or is this a like do the right thing reference?
No, isn't it? Because I said, you know, you're trying to stop the opportunist by locking the door by shuffling palms up. So who is the person smashing the window?
That dude who had the tiles in his lap
Nah,
all
the
those years
person who
ago.
cheated at a tournament and then wrote his blog about it.
Oh God. Oh
True
no.
story.
Dear diary, today I was a big
No,
cheater
no,
at a
no.
tournament.
Dear world. And he was like, I'm so glad that I cheated because Dinah Chiba was there, you know, the author of the Ricci book one. And he was like, I'm so glad I cheated and stole his points because blah, 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 ha, 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 I'm the best at cheating. And everyone was like, dude, what a twat.
How are you the best at cheating if you didn't get away with it because you told everyone you cheated?
This is very Elon Musk again, isn't
Like,
it?
like that doesn't make you the best at cheating. That just makes you stupid. If you,
Yeah,
maybe this, and this is the
like
problem.
robbing. It's like robbing and then selling the guy's belongings on the street outside.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the fundamental problem with any of that stuff. Like, if I was a genius diamond heist man and I stole the greatest diamond in the world, like, the only right answer is to then, like, encase it in cement, bury it under my garage, and never, ever speak of it. And the kind of person who does those diamond heists cannot live that way. They have to. They have to tell someone that they did the diamond heist, and that's how you get them.
What was that big diamond heist in London? And it was oh god, what was it? It was impressive. They managed to like drill through like these giant safes underground and like
wow.
what's the diamond? Some British person remembers here. And I always find it funny because they were just discussing it in the pub up from where I was living. and I
Oh
was
no,
like,
I'm sorry. I thought you meant the
TV.
diamond thief was just like, oh yeah, I drilled
No.
through a huge concrete wall.
No, but no, they literally were planning it like that in the pub, just in the corner table. Because I was watching the news, and then they were like, "Oh, we've got," because they've got CCTV, and they had video footage of them planning it. I was like, "Wait a second, that's the castle. That's my local. Why didn't they invite me? I want to go on a massive diamond heist."
Yeah, they didn't know your skills.
Yeah, but
You're right.
I think people who are cheating in the Mahjong community as it stands, as Dave says, there's no money for it. I think they must be just broken. They must enjoy having that kind of control over
enjoy
people.
being able to do that, and they found a venue where they happen to be skilled at it or they can do it. and it makes them feel good to feel like they're getting one over on someone. I don't. To be fair, like just to be super clear, there is no like hidden list in my brain of cheating people. And in the events I've been to recently, I have not had the slightest whiff of feeling like anyone was cheating. So yeah, not recently. No. So just to be super transparent, I really don't want to besmirch anybody in any way.
The Hatton Garden Raid, that's what it was called. Yes. And they did have a duck cottage pie. It was really delicious.
Wait, I want a pie.
Oh, pies are good. Yes.
I really want a pie.
No, what was that? The Hatton Garden Raid was impressive.
I went to see Wakanda Forever last night, and I got these tiny starbursts.
Ooh.
Does anyone have? By the way, I know I'm going to lean upon your knowledge, Flan. I know. Are there any links people have to those old Kojima Taiko videos? Because I cannot find them, and I would love to see them for entirely not cheating reasons. I definitely don't want to use them to learn to cheat. But I find the sleight of hand really impressive. I think it's really cool.
But yeah, I am concerned about the CCTV. But it's mostly just probably seeing me drinking gin and tonics, crying into them. So in Hatton Garden Raid, £14 million worth of diamonds were stolen, and they only recovered about 4 million. It was carried out by 6 old men, and they are old.
Honestly, good for them.
I know.
Good for them. I mean, if there's ever
you're
a
gonna end up in prison? Yeah.
When I'm going to be like, it's fucking heist time, everyone. It'll be when I'm 70 and I'm like, you know what? There's nothing exciting to do anymore. I'm old. Let's do a heist. It's heist time. We never did one before. It's heist time now. We're doing it.
So they worked through the 4-day bank holiday weekend and Easter because it was all closed. They just drilled through and stole it.
That doesn't sound like an exciting heist, though. That's a little boring. I mean, just drilling, just like for like hours. All right, we're drilling.
Well, I mean, you're stealing diamonds. They're not just going to be like, that's the thing. If you just run in with some guns and grab all the diamonds you can, you're not going to get all the good ones, are you?
Yeah, you're also not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get away is the big problem. You're never going to get away. You're just going to, they'll chase you and the big diamond.
But yeah, I don't know, Bitcoin heists
are pretty... on the inside. Boo!
Oh, yeah, there you go. That was, I don't know if you can see that.
That's not focusing.
No, I didn't.
It looks like an open safe.
No, there's a big hole. Is
it like a proper tunnel though? They like reinforced it with concrete?
Yes, they tunneled through it. It was a reinforced concrete safe.
Was that their job? Did they build tunnels? Were they part of Elon Musk's boring company?
No, I don't know. Like they were like the old school sort of, That's
honestly, naming that company Boring Company was maybe the best thing he's done. In terms of all of his jokes and all of his BS, naming the drilling company Boring Company, I thought was actually pretty funny. I was on board with that.
Why do people reminding me of that? It's the thing that annoys me most about him. He's made a shitty, but like, who wants to drive a car through a tunnel? Like, it's just miserable as shit. I mean, I don't drive myself, but I get why people enjoy driving. There's freedom, they get to see views, like they have the top down on their car or something. Like, I can get that. But driving through a nasty tunnel full of nasty smoke from all the other cars that are driving through this teeny tiny little tunnel, and all you see is concrete.
No, I mean, that whole thing was so weird. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of opinions about how it was really just meant to steal municipal money. But, like, that whole thing is like, why? It just reeks of that weird startup mentality where it's like, I don't actually have a solution, but someone fairly charismatic has told me that they could probably somehow make a solution with no proof that they can in any way, shape, or form, or at least a shitty workaround. Like, and I'm just like, I
absolutely I've
invented a problem. Yeah, it's
that's what they do.
I don't understand.
It's all right. Anyway,
the bridge is getting angry.
What is there any other? We've been wildly back to Elon Musk. I feel like before all I wanted to talk about was Amaranth, and now all I want to talk about is Elon Musk. I love Amaranth, but now
we started a little early. And we have to end a little early because I actually have to get out of here at 2:00 to go to eat someone's food. They were making me a delicious roast. A good friend.
But we are keeping this new time, are we?
Are we keeping the new time?
I would prefer this time, yes. So it's not. Is it earlier? Yes, it is earlier. It's an hour earlier, right?
It's not a problem. I'll adjust the schedule on the stream site, so everyone has a new schedule. So don't worry about missing us, which I'm sure you would all cry about. I'd cry a little. I'd miss you. And also do my weekly ad. We're going to be at PAX Unplugged. Don't forget. Still prepping for that frantically, getting everything set. Going to be doing a bit more work on that later this weekend. Bad Blood. Yeah, Theranos. Theranos was so weird, but Theranos was another. It was so like
Oh, is that a book
weird.
about? Oh, I'm obsessed with that lady as well. I didn't
Oh, and her
realize there was a
weird
book.
deep voice and her like.
Oh, do you know what? That's
It's
fascinating
weird
to me. I
because it
don't
was
know
like an
why.
impression she would do. It's not weird because someone having a deep voice is weird.
Yeah, no, no. And then, but she didn't have to do it. She was already rich. Why?
Because
Why?
they wanted a narrative. She was almost an actor for them. I feel like in many ways, like she was just the person who fit the narrative they wanted to push.
Yeah, anyway, I'm fascinated by it. So thank you, Binal. I'm going to get that
It's super
book and I'm going
interesting.
to read that. Thank you.
But join us at PAX Unplugged if you can. We'll have more details almost definitely next week about specifics as to where we'll be, booth number, stuff like that. Gonna be doing
It's
convention things.
always a great time. I've
It is
always really
actually
loved
super fun.
PAX Unplugged. It's like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the first time was really a tough time,
Well,
but since
that
that,
was PAX East. That was a whole other
yeah,
world of
and
hurt.
also I think like Dave has gotten better each time, and he's always built in times for me to run around and
To recharge a little bit.
yeah, yeah, eat some of their food from the concession stands, which I won't thank him for because you know.
The concessions are pretty good. Yeah, I'll be honest. I was a little iffy about going to cons. I went to Gen Con this past year, which kind of got me feeling back okay with it. Obviously, everyone's kind of got their own vibe as to
Oh
how they
no,
feel
yeah,
about
you
things like
should go.
that.
You should go on your own
Yeah,
timeline,
go when you're
definitely.
ready. Go when you're ready. I can say on a personal level, I've been feeling better about it. I feel good about it. So
Mm,
we'll see. Anyway,
yeah.
thank you all for joining
Thank you,
us, and
guys.
we'll be back at what's going to be 12 Eastern. I'm going to adjust the schedule before long. Back next week. And now we can be blessed by my closing music, which I super got so I don't have to do a VTuber stream, even though I'm probably going to end up doing a VTuber stream because Jenna's going to
You
spell
should
harmony everywhere.
totally do. I really, really want you to do a VTuber stream. Maybe
Fine.
I can look like. Oh my God, can we have you looking like Elon Musk? Someone must have that. We must be able to buy that.
I really don't want to look like Elon Musk. Like, I would
I would.
rather
I want to look like
be.
Elon Musk.
Do you want to look like Elon Musk?
Oh, I think you do a better impression of him. I mean, I can't do accents
Why is
at all,
that?
but South African accents are just beyond
I
me.
can't do a South African. What do I know about a South African accent?
Well, I bet if you watched him a little bit, you'd be able to do one.
But that gets into that weird like, am
David
I
Musk and
being
Gemma's
racist
Amber.
zone, which I don't know how I feel about.
Is it? I don't
I
think the
don't
South
know.
African accent. No, no, South African accents are pretty white, to be honest. When you talk about a South African accent, unfortunately,
I'll
that's
do some
what
research.
we
I'll
are here.
see if it's
That's what we're here.
hashtag
That's what we're saying
problematic.
here in the UK. I mean, that we can have a discussion about
He
British people
will
being
buy
problematic.
Amazon just to ban this channel if we make fun of him. You know that, right?
Or he'll be like, oh, I'm gonna sub to you guys because you're great because I think I'm so funny about
Maybe.
bullshit crap.
Maybe we can get
Anyway,
some
who knows what thing?
maybe we get some political people to sub to our channel. We can do more politics talk.
Yeah, because that's
I'm
what
just
everyone
kidding.
wants.
All right. All right. I'm gonna get
Right,
moving. Thank you
go
all for
for
joining us so much, and we'll
Thank
see
you
you next week
guys.
with more
Thank
Mahjong
you.
stuff and more pack stuff. So
Well
farewell
done,
for
Dave, on
now.
your Yakuman again. Bye.
I'll Yakuman again. Bye.
Bye. Your